Hey guys, Sam here, and yes, I know it's been a while. There's a lot of reasons as to why: job, procrastination, keeping up with the Major League Baseball postseason. We're going off the division series. Fingers crossed on how things go. But I wanted to still get a video out to show you that I still want to make some content every once in a while. Uh, I do have a couple of ideas for reviews lined up, and I may get something out as well for this spooky month. Do something related to Halloween, of course. But for right now, I wanted to do something that was a combination of both sports and, I guess, Halloween esque, and also use an idea that was used by another YouTuber that I like very much, the Canadian Stud Muffin. Now, there was a video he made long ago where it was the who do you keep and who do you kick out of your party game. Basically, the idea is that you bring in at least 10 people and you have the option to keep 5 and kick out 5. So in this case, I wanted to put together the 10 of the most controversial athletes, like some of the most controversial athletes, put them together and see who would I keep at a Halloween party and who would I kick out for obvious reasons. So I've got this list right here, and yes, look at that. New phone screen replaces the other one, which was mostly made of glass. It just kept chipping away over time. Actually, would be times I just find like little pieces of glass in my own bed anytime I just move the phone around. Don't need to deal with that again. Anyway, so I've got a list of at least 10 controversial athletes. So I looked up online just who are some of the most controversial athletes ever. And here are the 10 names that stuck out. And this isn't all just baseball names. These just are spread out like baseball, basketball, football, boxing, you know what I mean. First name, Alex Rodriguez. Number 2, Dennis Rodman. Number 3, Antonio Brown. Number 4, Terrell Owens. Number 5, Albert Bell. Number 6, Serena Williams. I had to have at least one female on this list. Number 7, Ja Morant. Number 8, Logan Paul. Yes, he counts as an athlete, yes. Number 9, Mike Tyson. And finally, number 10, Milton Bradley. Okay, so like I said, the object is to go over each of these names, and you have to keep 5 and kick out 5. And you also have to give your reasons as to why you would keep them and why you would kick them out. So let's go through the list. And actually, before I do so, let me know in the comments below who you'd keep at the party and who you'd kick out. I really would like to hear your thoughts on this. So anyway, I'll go through the list one by one. So I'll start off with Alex Rodriguez. Yes, he has had a lot of controversial moments before. He's probably one of the most popular controversial athletes in the world. You know, the steroid stuff, how he conducted himself with the biogenesis scandal. But he's also had good moments here and there as well. And I think after 2014, like once he got through that suspension and he came back to play again in 2015, he's just based on what I've seen for the last decade, he seems to be trying to turn himself around. It seems like he's trying to actually, clean up his image and really make himself into a better person. He's certainly done a few broadcasting gigs. He's done some few gigs on TV. I still see him around every once in a while. He doesn't leave the news circle or anything like that, but it seems like he's doing okay, both as a retired athlete and also as a father as well. And he's also even trying to help other athletes that are struggling after they leave the game as well. I think there was even a reality show that involved something like that. I don't remember what the name was called, but I know he did something like that. But just based on what I've seen, it seems like he's tried to really mend the fences of what he's done in the past. So honestly, he seems like okay person nowadays. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call him like completely innocent and everything, but he knows that, and he would be the first person to tell you that he was an idiot back then. He even said it out loud many times that he didn't need steroids. He didn't need it. So with that kind of self humility right there, I'd probably keep him at the party. I think he'd be fine. Okay, next up, Dennis Rodman. Now, yes, he's also had his very popular, controversial moments, like the time he wore a wedding dress, the numerous ways he burned bridges on a lot of the teams he was on, the Detroit Pistons, the San Antonio Spurs, the Bulls, so many different teams. But he certainly was a very talented athlete, and since he stepped away from the court, he certainly has had his moments that are not that proud off the field, but he seems okay. He seems like a very, emotional guy that certainly has his issues. He certainly has, a lot of problems he still deals with deep inside. He didn't exactly have the greatest childhood or anything, and yeah, he'd be the first to tell you that it sucked. So, I mean, he's definitely eccentric right now, but the stuff he was doing back in the mid 90s, like with the piercings and the hair color changes and stuff like that, that kind of stuff would be kind of seen as almost passe by today's standards. There's a lot more crazier things that people have, done to get themselves in trouble compared to what Rodman did back in the mid 90s. There's some controversial stuff here and there that he did in his personal life as well, a few other embarrassing moments, but he's certainly at a point now where if you brought him to a party, I think he'd be okay. So I'd probably keep him around. Antonio Brown. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this guy. He constantly keeps embarrassing himself. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, the several ways he screwed things up with all the different teams he was with, like the Steelers and the Raiders and the Patriots and especially the Buccaneers, when he was finally given that real chance, like probably his last chance to really do something great. He ended up winning a Super Bowl, but then he completely screwed it up because either it was something involving his pay, or he was brought into a game because of an injury and he didn't want to, or something like that. But cameras caught him quitting on the field, and ever since then, he certainly hasn't made things better. Like, he's tried to have a rap career, he's tried to do this, he's tried to do that. He even tried to own a arena football team, Albany, and, well, he screwed that up in about, 4 months? Like, seriously, this guy's got problems, serious problems, and just needs help right now instead of just throwing money at the situation. The guy's got a massive ego, and he's certainly got a lot of legal issues to deal with, and at this point, he just needs therapy. So I don't think bringing him to a party, this Halloween party, would be a good idea. So no, he's out. Number 4, Terrell Owens. Yes, he was flamboyant, he certainly was arrogant, and he certainly knew he was a good player. And he certainly was. He was a great wide receiver. And honestly, now that he's no longer playing the game, I think he's kind of a cool dude. He seems okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a few times where he's regretted some of his actions back in the day when he, burned bridges with the 49ers and the Eagles and the Cowboys and the last couple teams he played on. But it doesn't really seem that bad compared to some modern athletes that have done way worse. I mean, like, there's a lot of players that have done a lot to really, not leave a lot of goodwill with their fans. And for him, it's mainly just been more, I don't know, systemic problems. Again, that doesn't excuse it, of course. But, I mean, what he did, it's probably not as bad as, like, say, like Antonio Brown's case, where he was getting into constant legal battles. Like, Terrell Owens, it's mainly just problems with teammates. I mean, that doesn't make him the greatest teammate, but he still was a talented wide receiver, and he seems like a decent guy nowadays. So, yeah, I keep him at the party. Albert Bell. No, he's out. It's the temper. I learned a lot more about Albert Bell's temper in a documentary about the 90s Cleveland Indians teams. And it's more than just, getting angry and everything like that. But he had done some things like breaking plates at a restaurant, or even breaking the thermostat off the wall if he didn't get a hit in every single at bat, and a few other crazy superstitious things that he did that, really pissed off the personnel that was there. There was even one time where, he was actually in trouble for not giving 100% when he was running down the first baseline. So there's a story where he failed to do it one time, and he failed to do it the second time, and some scout that was there or someone in the personnel was watching him and was like, if you don't run it out 100%, you know, I'm going to make sure you get your ass out of here. And, well, after he failed to run it out on the second time, he pretty much just looked at that guy and just looked at that guy in the stands. He left the stadium, got in his car, and left. And this was when he was in the minor leagues. So, yeah, I know some people can try and change, and Albert Bell's not really been in the spotlight that much since he retired from baseball, so maybe he managed his temper a little bit. I don't know. I mean, he blames John Hart for screwing up the Cleveland Indians teams in the 90s based on that documentary that I saw. You know, the almost dynasty, I guess. I think that's, you know, the team that, you know, almost, the dynasty that almost was. I think that's what it was called. So, yeah, I'm sure maybe Bell's fine nowadays, but that temper, I can't forget about that. So, and I don't know how he'd be if he was, like, you know, boozed up on alcohol during a Halloween party. So, no, Bell's out. Serena Williams. Honestly, out of all the players on this list, she's probably the least controversial. I mean, she's gotten into a few issues over time. Like, probably the most controversial thing she's ever done, let's say on the tennis court, was when she threatened to shove a tennis ball down a referee's throat when some calls weren't going her way. But that was just like a heat in the moment kind of thing. And even then, the referee made it seem like that Serena Williams was trying to kill her or something, which that wasn't really the case. But aside from that, Serena's been mostly, you know, clean in terms of, making sure she doesn't get into a lot of trouble off the court and on the court. Like, she's just a very competitive woman, and for good reason. She's a winner. She's won a lot of Grand Slam titles, a very talented athlete, one of the best, you know, tennis players in the history of the game. And out of all, again, like I said, out of all the players on this list, she's probably the least controversial. So, yeah, I keep her at the party. Ja Morant. Yeah, I'm not a fan of people that try to brandish a firearm in front of a kid. And especially getting into a lot of legal troubles that he screwed it up with the Memphis Grizzlies. So, no. Obvious. He's gone. No. What he did, and this, just look at some of the stuff that he's done. It's pretty stupid. Just stupid. So, no, he's out. Logan Paul. Another obvious one. He's out. I'm not a fan of a lot of the things that he's done. I'm not a fan of a lot of things he's said, not just on YouTube, but also, you know, the way he's, you know, done things in the boxing world. I mean, there's some times where he could certainly be talented as a boxer, but it's certainly done for the notoriety, not so much like really for the passion. Or maybe it could be for passion. Maybe I could be wrong on that front, but I don't know. He just rubs me the wrong way on that one, especially with the stuff that he did years ago. He seemed like a likable figure on Vine for years, despite the, I don't know what you call it, like the stock jock type. Like, I've never really been a fan of those kind of personality types, especially when they do a lot of stupid things, you know, like that, like, you know, filming a dead body in the woods and putting it up on YouTube and then trying to, you know, clean, you know, up the act later by issuing an apology, which, you know, pretty much a lot of people bashed for. So, yeah, Paul's gone. So now we got 2 more names left. So we have 4 that I've chosen to keep and 4 that I've chosen to kick out. So these last 2, Mike Tyson and Milton Bradley. Mike Tyson, yes, he certainly was controversial. A lot of problems in his personal life. But I think after he was done with boxing, he certainly has cleaned up his reputation much more. He's actually delved into movies, he's delved into TV, and I'm sure he's still dealing with a lot of, like, inner turmoil inside, like a few more emotional problems, but nowadays I've seen him around and he seems like a decent guy. He seems like a guy you would probably want to have a beer with and stuff like that, and he certainly would be someone you'd want to have defending you, you know, fighting for you, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd keep Mike Tyson. He seems okay. And he also was a very talented and intimidating boxer. Like, look up some of his highlights. Like, he was that good at the time. And then finally, Milton Bradley. Probably one of the biggest hotheads Major League Baseball has ever seen. And it's not just the stuff he did on the field, the constant ejections he got himself into, the time where one of his ejections got him injured. Just look up that one ejection he had with the Padres. That pretty much ended his entire career with the Padres, and then he was sent off to Texas, where he actually had an all-star year, I think, And then he went off to Chicago and then to Seattle, and he pretty much screwed it up there. He was even one of the few guys I know that actually got ejected in a spring training game. Like, seriously? And of course, he's had his own personal problems with, like, his love life and his kids, and he needs therapy, real therapy. So, yeah, he's gone. Out of here. So, yeah, those are all the 10 names. So, I would keep Alex Rodriguez, Dennis Rodman, Terrell Owens, Serena Williams, and Mike Tyson. And I would kick out Antonio Brown, Albert Bell, John Morant, Logan Paul, and Milton Bradley. So again, let me know in the comments below who you'd keep at the party and who you kick out. So again, this was inspired from a video from Canadian Stud Muffin. Hopefully, if he ends up seeing this, sorry that I took your idea, but I just thought it was a fun idea. But yeah, I just thought this was a little something fun that I could do, and it gives me something I could do on the side when I'm working on other video ideas. So hopefully this video is good enough. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, give it a like and or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And again, let me know who you'd keep at the Halloween party and who you'd kick out. And if you have other names, like other controversial athletes you have in mind that you would think about keeping or kicking out of the party too, let me know in the comments below as well. So, thank you guys for watching, and as always, my name is Sam, and good night, everybody.